start streaming. We should be live in a couple minutes. I'm just going to wait until the stream goes live. Believe we are live and ready to go. So this live stream is all to do with link building. We're going to go over everything you guys need to know when it comes to off-page SEO for your website. This is going to be literally from a beginner's guide going all the way to advanced link building techniques. So this might take a little longer than usual. But if you are starting to scale out your off-page SEO and your link building, obviously off-page SEO is pretty important if you are more of a beginner website. For anybody that is watching that doesn't know what link building or off-page SEO is, it's essentially a vouch from another website telling Google how great you are. So if you can imagine, if you had, let's say, 10 of the best websites such as Forbes, BBC, all of these websites saying that you're the best plumber or the best lawyer in New York, or for example, you might be a e-commerce brand selling running shoes. Again, if all of these websites saying to Google and they're linking back to you saying that you're great, Google will essentially see that as a positive ranking factor and they will essentially rank you a little bit higher. So this is gambling.com. We've just pulled up on Ahrefs, random website, but they do have quite a lot of links. So for example, if we were to search their website for a few of their links, let's say if we go to bookies.com and actually what we'll do is we will do follow backlink type in content. So I'm just going to show you guys just a basic guest post, for example, right? So the dialine.com best April Fool's Day pranks of 2023, and then it links to gambling.com with the anchor text study, right? So the anchor text, again, for anybody that doesn't know, an anchor text is the actual link that's highlighted that goes through to your website. So when you are picking your anchor text and stuff, you need to be pretty careful on that side of stuff. You don't want to over optimize. So let's say, for example, you're trying to rank for buy running shoes online or buy desks online. You might want a few links going through to your buy desks online page with that anchor. You don't want all of your anchors with the exact matched. And again, we'll go over like all the different types of anchors. So what type of list of link building anchors? So if we go to link building, anchor text, 3 things you need to know. So actually this isn't a good list. 7 common types of anchor text. Let's take a look at this article here. So we've got branded anchors. So if, say, for example, your website is SEO123, and that's your agency name, that would be a branded anchor. A partial match would be like, for example, it would be partial and also branded. So for example, it might be SEO services by 123 SEO agency, or Casual Dash or whatever. Random anchor text, websites naturally get random anchor text. So if you have, for example, a lot of blog articles, a lot of guides, a lot of how-tos, you might get a lot more random anchor text, like, for example, this article, right? Then let's take a look here. Exact match. So, for example, if you're trying to rank for best running shoes, exact match would be best running shoes, and it would link back to your website. Related anchor text, so these would be like LSIs and secondary keywords. So best running shoes would be your primary keyword, and related anchor text would be, for example, it would be top running shoes. some of the best running shoes or men's best running shoes. Again, these are all related, or LSIs as some people call them. Then you've got generic, so for example, see more, click here, and then you've got naked links as well. So naked links would literally just be this as the anchor. So internal link juice.com would be like your naked URL, for example, or for example casualdash.com or casualdash.com / SEO Miami if I had an SEO Miami page. So that's all the different types of anchor text that we need to know about. This is super important because when we are looking at actually scaling out the link side of stuff, you never want to over optimize the anchors. And what I mean by over optimizing anchors, right? Let's say, for example, if we were to go and build a lot of exact match anchors. So if we want to rank for SEO Miami or SEO Agency Miami, and if we were to go and build, let's say, 50 links all with exact match, Google would essentially realize that these aren't natural links. So again, when we're doing link building, we want to make it look as natural as possible. And that's the most important thing when it comes to this. George is in the chat. He said hello. Hi, George. So that's all the different types of anchors, and we'll come back to this article throughout this video because it's super important to actually know this going forward. So whenever you're doing link building, especially for a new website, the biggest thing that you can do, or the biggest takeaway that you can do, is essentially finding links that you don't have. Now, for example, this is gambling.com. Some of you guys might have seen this website in my previous videos, but let's say you are gambling.com, or let's say you have an e-commerce store. This process would be very, very similar to your industry as well, right? What you want to do is go and find the top 3 biggest competitors that you have in the industry. So again, I'm just looking at this from some gambling websites, but let's say you're trying to sell online furniture. You might want to take a look at wayfair.com. You want to maybe take a look at IKEA, websites like that, right? So I'm going to search up best online casinos, right? So gambling.com is number 1. I'm not going to take a look at Telegraph because they're more of a generic website. They're not only talking about gambling. Telegraph, for example, they're like a news website in the UK. So I don't want to take a look at those guys. Same with the Sun. Again, this is all to do with like competitor research. As soon as we find some really good competitors, that's when we can get the best types of links. So olbg.com, these guys only talk about gambling, so I'm going to use these as well. And basically what I'm going to do here, right, is I'm going to put my website as, for example, let's say casualdash.com, right? I'm not really focused on actually ranking it, but if we do link intersect, so the link intersect section on Ahrefs is super good because it tells us what links we actually have a deficit of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place in olbg.com, I'm going to place in gambling.com, and also I'm going to find a third website as well, right? Trustpilot, I'm not going to take a look at again because Trustpilot, they don't only just talk about casinos, they're more of a general website. Same with the Independent. But Ask Gamblers would be a good one. Top Rated Casinos would be another good one. I'm going to go with Ask Gamblers because these guys rank for a lot of keywords. They're quite a big brand in the UK space when it comes to gambling, right? So all we've done is we have just picked out 3 competitors in the space, and we've essentially made certain that they are only ranking for casino-related phrases. Now, again, if you were selling online furniture, for example, you're probably going to want to pick out some competitors that only sell like furniture online. So for example, DFS is quite a big sofa selling brand in the UK. You have got IKEA in the UK, you've got Wayfair, so you're going to pick some of those brands, right? Once you have those brands, you then want to go over to link intersect section, and you essentially want to paste in those URLs here, right? Now, what we have found is we found 33,992 referring domains. Does that mean we need to get all of them? Definitely not, right? The last thing you want to do as a website starting out is, let's say you've just went and set up a new website. It can be daunting looking at your competitors saying, oh my God, they've got 700 backlinks, I only have 10. Does that mean I need 690 backlinks? That's definitely not the case. Not all links push the needle. Not all links essentially rank you higher either, right? So if we take a look here, if we go to all intersects, right, you sometimes can find free targets, so free a guest post website or a link that is being linked to all three of your competitors. So we're going to see if there are any of these. So we have got FeedBurner. Some of these links will be aggregator links, so in some cases we will want to not look at them. But for example, MSN links to all three of our competitors here, right? That means that MSN is a needle pusher, so we would want to get an MSN link. So let's see, right? MSN, it links twice to Ask Gamblers here. It links 23 times to gambling.com, and it links 178 times to olbg.com, right? So this tells us straight off the bat that we're probably going to need that link as part of our backlink profile. So if we take a look here, if we take a look at this page is no longer existing. We'll take a look at this one. So MSN looks like they've killed off a lot of pages, but let's take a look at the Scotsman, right? Scotsman.com. One thing I will say about the link intersect is that it can be very slow at times, so you might need to just bear with it. So Edinburgh News, it has linked to gambling.com, or sorry, it's linked to all three, but we're looking at Ask Gamblers, and as you can see here, it has linked to askgamblers.com. So this edinburghnews.com, I would definitely be doing outreach to them and trying to get a link placed on that website. Now, in some cases, you might need some digital PR links. If you guys do need some links, definitely check out casualdash.com. I can help you guys out with any link building needs. iGamingbusiness.com, this links to all three of our website, or all three of our competitor websites. And again, this would be a website that I would be looking to do outreach to. So what we would essentially want to be doing at this stage is we're not going to be able to afford all of these links from the word go. Again, some of you guys might have lower budgets. Some of you guys might be able to afford all of them, right? But what we would want to be doing is trying to find a hit list of links that we're going to do outreach to. So again, for example, before it news, links to all three of our competitors, links to olbg.com once, and again, we can take a look at this. This is the one bad thing about Ahrefs at the minute. It's a little bit slow, but we can make do. So again, going back to what we were talking about before, this is like a partial match anchor. So again, if we go into like all the different categories of anchors, as you can also see here, reviewed by sports betting community experts, olbg.com. So they have essentially varied their anchor text as well. That's another thing that we're going to take a look at a little bit further down in the video, right? But as you can see here, before it's news, and as you can see, this links to our competitor. So again, this tells us we want to be getting a link on this website. So once we've identified all of these websites that we want to essentially do outreach to, the next step is essentially finding the website owners and emailing them. And there is a really good tool. So I'm just going to log into it on my other screen. So if you guys are going to do this manually yourself, this is the cheapest way that you can essentially build links, right? So this is a tool called hunter.io. I have spoke about this before. But what hunter.io does is it basically spits out the email that's attached to the actual website. So let's say, for example, you put in bbc.com, it's going to spit out some emails that you can essentially do outreach to. So if we do, let's say, for example, if we were to go to page 4, jiblogs.com, let's take a look at SW Londoner. I'm just going to find a few different websites that we want to do outreach to. we will do the nerdstash.com. Right, so we've got like 3 websites here, right? Let's say, for example, onefootball.com. We want to get all of the emails attached to that. So as you can see here, we have got all of their emails. So you've got network at OneFootball, creators, jobs, feedback, sales, press. So you might want to essentially reach out to press and essentially try to negotiate something where you can essentially place an article on their website and they will link back to you. So I would be emailing, for example, the press, or in some cases, for example, if it's myself, I can potentially go on their podcast as well. I didn't even know they had a podcast, but again, I can go and speak and talk about, for example, gambling affiliate or sports betting affiliate, right? Again, I'm providing value to the website, so they would probably want me on their website, and by essentially showing on their podcast, I can essentially get a free link. Nerd Stash, right? So the next one is Nerd Stash. Again, advertising at, jobs at, press at, editorial, media, info, webmasters, Alex G, and ads. So again, you've essentially been able to find all of their emails just by using this tool. Again, this tool, I'm just on the free plan at the minute, but you guys can, if you're doing this in bulk, it has got a bulk section here where you can import, like let's say, for example, we wanted to reach out to all 19 pages of websites here, so all 931 domains. You can essentially export it from Ahrefs and import it to hunter.io, and it will give you all the emails that's attached to the website. So again, we take a look at Southwest Londoner as well. So you've got Newsdeck, advertising, G Moody, HLE Capellan. So again, I would probably reach out to, like, for example, either Newsdeck or advertising, and essentially try and figure out how I can get a link on this website. A lot of the times they're probably going to ask you for something newsworthy about your website, or potentially you can reach out to them with an infographic as well, and you can say to them, hey, I've got this really nice infographic that you can upload to your website. It's talking about, for example, sports betting, or best areas to run in America. If, say, for example, you have an e-commerce store that's selling running shoes, right? You essentially want to get the link a little bit more relevant to your website. So just think of some ideation plans, and essentially reach out to a lot of these websites. One thing I will say, when you are doing outreach, it's a numbers game. So you essentially want to be reaching out to as many websites as you can, really. So if you can do 100, do 100. If you can do 50, do 50. So once you then have a list of emails, it's very much down to you how you want to essentially reach out to them. You've got tools such as Woodpecker. This is a really, not the actual Woodpecker, but let's say Woodpecker email. So you've got woodpecker.co. Basically what this tool does, for anybody that doesn't or has never heard of it, and also you get free 300 credits as well, right? What it does is it will warm up your email. So when you are doing outreach, it's really important that you warm up your emails. This is probably a separate video in itself. If you are going to be doing email at mass, you need to probably use a tool like this, right? But Woodpecker, basically, you can give it a Gmail. It will warm up the email for you, and then you can essentially start reaching out to all of the hit list of people, right? So let's say, for example, if we were to export all 900 of these links that our competitors have that we don't have, there might be, let's say, 1,000, or let's say there's 700, between 700 and 1,000 emails that we want to reach out to. You're probably going to want to use this tool. And what this tool does is it will warm up your email, so you can register test@gmail.com. You can give it to Woodpecker. It will warm it up for, let's say, a month, and then you can start emailing all of the emails that are attached to the websites. The reason why we're doing the actual email warm-up process is because we want to essentially get in the inbox. If you just start hitting all of these websites with emails, you're going to get sent to the spam box, and nobody's going to essentially see your emails. So it's super important you're warming up your emails. Woodpecker takes care of all of that for you. It's essentially kind of like a CRM system as well. So you can track, like, your deliverability rate, your open rate, your response rate. You can test out different subject lines as well. So again, if you're doing this at mass, you want to essentially be winning on those 1% gains here and there. So that's a really good tool for the actual outreach process. Another tool that you can also use as well is if we take a look at so you've got hunter.io, and you have also got, I forgot the name of it as well, outreach link building tool. So you have got Pitchbox, that's the one. I don't know how I forgot about this, because this is what we actually use at the agency. But again, Pitchbox, very, very similar. It warms up all of your emails. If you're doing it at bulk and you're trying to scale out link building, I highly recommend this tool. I believe it starts at $400 a month. Yeah, $495 a month. And that gives you 5,000 outreach emails per month. And you can also attach 5 email accounts, and again, they take care of the warming up process. This tool is a little bit more optimized for outreach. Hunter.io isn't as such, so there's certain tasks that you can do in Pitchbox, like you can do follow-ups as well. So for example, if you're sending out, let's say, 1,000 emails to all of these guys, Pitchbox will also do auto follow-up. So if somebody opens up your email and doesn't respond to you, you can set it up to say, if Kajradash doesn't reply to me in 3 days, I want to hit them with another email. So again, when it comes to outreach, it's very much down to the follow-up process. How many times are you following up with people? If you're not following up, you're probably not going to have a great success rate. So again, the 5 email accounts, when you're warming them up and stuff, that helps with the follow-up sequence and stuff. So that is the actual outreach process. When it comes to setting up the links in the actual anchor text, if you guys are doing a brand new website, I highly recommend doing foundational links. And foundational links, they're more so like citations. They are, for example, directory websites. And again, when you're doing the foundational type of links, they're more so links going through to your homepage. And again, social profiles as well, they are deemed as foundational links for your website. So if you can get a Twitter, if you can get Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, all of these massively helps with both your EEAT of your website and also the trustworthiness as well. And again, LinkedIn is another really good social profile that you can get. So if you guys are setting up, like for example, a brand new website, highly recommend you guys go and get those links first. And then you start focusing more so on the actual guest posting and the niche edits and stuff. One other thing that I will also show you guys. So let's take a look at link building. So this was one of my courses that I actually done. And this goes into detail as to like all the different types of links and stuff like that you can get. So you've got like Linkbait articles. Linkbait articles are more so articles that you're throwing up. So for example, I used an example here, Linkbait. So I actually used Kyle Roof as an example. I said if Kyle Roof went and donated, let's say, $5 million to charity, right? You would essentially naturally get a lot of links going through to that saying, oh my God, look at what this SEO's done. He has essentially helped with charities, donated, etc., etc. Brilliant. But then what you also want to do as part of that article, you essentially want to internally link to all of your money pages as well. So let's say we went and done an article on Kajradash. He's went and helped a SaaS company and they've been able to 10x their net profits, right? A lot of like the news article or a lot of the websites will essentially link through to that Linkbait article. And the next thing you want to make certain that you're doing, or from an on-page SEO point of view, is internally linking to all of your money pages, right? So again, if I'm trying to rank for Miami SEO or running or buy running shoes, I would internally link from this Linkbait article through to my money pages. So that's article number one. We also have, like, for example, a really good example of this was the Amazon drone delivery, right? So again, if you guys haven't seen this, Amazon drone delivery. So Amazon released an article here, and it was talking about how they are planning on doing prime delivery and basically very quick delivery via drones, right? Now, the whole reason why they done this article is because it got a lot of press and a lot of PR, and they wanted to rank for the word next day delivery or online next day delivery, which they have done now in the UK anyway. But this article here got a lot of press coverage. Like, look at the amount of videos talking about it. Look at BBC, the New York Times, Sky News, The Guardian, Cambridge Independent. All of these linked to Amazon. And essentially all they done was, it's not a thing now. This was back in I believe this was actually way older. Why do I think that this was an older article? But okay, apparently it's the 10th of December they actually done it. I thought it was a little bit older, but apparently not. They're still not doing delivery via drone because it's not viable. But from a PR point of view and from a Linkbait point of view, they done that because they wanted to rank more so for online delivery and next day delivery, right? Elon Musk is really good when it comes to Linkbait as well. This is another really good profile that you guys should be checking out. So this was his Twitter profile, right? And March, I believe this was in 2023. If you take a look here, I'll zoom in. He had 83,000 referring domains to his Twitter profile. And when he essentially bought over Twitter, he now has 119,000. We can actually take a look at his Twitter and see what, how many links his Twitter now has. Let's take a look. Elon Musk. Ahrefs. Let's see if he is still on a upward trajectory. So, So right now it shows as 123,000 referring domains. So he has actually went up since this screenshot. So that's always good to see. Now let's take a look at the next type of link. So we've covered essentially Linkbait articles, press-worthy articles. Now what we want to do is we're going to start talking a little bit more about guest posts, right? Because guest posts, for example, this is a guest post. It's talking about what are HMRC tax investigations and why should businesses be careful, right? Now, what a guest post is, it is an article on a blog that is somewhat related to your website, and it essentially links back to your website. So as we can see here, this is a website talking about what are HMRC tax investigations and why you should be, why should businesses be careful. And then it internally links to a accountancy, and the anchor text is HMRC tax investigations, right? So that's the anchor there. And as you can see, it is highlighted there, right? So this guest post is super relevant. The content is talking about accountancy. And it's talking about something that an accountant would want to rank for, right? Now, there's obviously pros and cons when it comes to actual guest posts, right? So if we take a look here, guest posts, if you're trying to build relevance, they're great because you can essentially pick what the content is talking about. If you are trying to essentially You are able to pick exactly what the guest post says. In some cases, you can even provide the content. Yep, so we've mentioned that. Guest posts on the correct websites can massively push the needle. Now, there's a lot of guest post farms that you want to avoid. Guest post farms are essentially websites that were built for guest posts. They don't serve any value. Those websites you will want to avoid because, again, they don't push the needle. Guest posts only link to anchors and links, meaning you get the most power, right? So again, if we take a look at this website here, right, this is a guest post and it's only linking to one website. And again, that's super good because you're getting the most power from that website. Guest posts, you're trying to get as much power from another website through to yours. Now, the second type of link that we want to talk about is niche edits. Now, niche edits, the pros are, you don't need to worry about creating new content because it's on a pre-existing page. So what we would essentially be looking at when we are doing outreach for niche edits is we want to essentially take a look at articles that are already ranking. So if you're trying to rank for buy online desk, you might search desk related blog articles and reach out to those blogs. Niche edits pass a lot more power. Niche edits are already indexed because that's essentially how we found the website, right? So again, if I was to do blogs related to desks, right? So you've got all of these websites that are already talking about desks. You would essentially want to reach out to, for example, maybe not. So these guys, you might want to reach out to these guys. They've got a really good article here talking about desks, and you can essentially say to them, hey, I've seen that you are talking about desks. Can I get a link placed on your website? I feel like I can add some value. You might want to essentially reach out to them and say, hey, I've actually got a desk photo on my Instagram. Can you link back to my website as well? And they will sometimes do that as well. So that's a niche edit, right? You've essentially found an article or a website that's already ranking for that keyword that you're trying to rank for. You can control the anchor text. The turnaround time as well is it's a lot quicker as opposed to guest posts. A guest post, obviously, you need to find the website, you need to write the article yourself, and then you need to provide the content to the actual blog owner, and then they'll upload it, and then they'll link back to you. Whereas a niche edit, all you're doing is essentially you are placing a link in a pre-existing blog article, right? So for example, you might want to reach out to brothers.co.uk and get a link placed here. And that's essentially a link placement. So for example, sciencedaily.com have done that. And they are talking about, is your office messy, right? So that's just a niche edit what they've done, right? Same goes with, is there any other link insertions? So same goes with mmfurnituredesigns.co.uk. They've reached out to brother.co.uk and they are linking to how a messy desk affects your workflow and your productivity. And again, this blog article is talking about study reveals the impact of a messy desk. So that's what a niche edit is. Now this is another example, or we'll talk about the cons of a niche edit as well before I show you a couple more examples of niche edits. So niche edits aren't always super relevant. So for example, that blog or this blog article here, we might link to our website talking about standing desks, right? Buying online standing desks. Again, it's not super relevant as a guest post. The guest post, you can pick the content, remember that. Guest post, you can pick the content. It is a lot more relevant. However, a guest post is a fresh article, right? So it's not got that much power. Now, niche edits can have multiple outbound links. So for example, we looked at this brother.co.uk article, right? It's linked to University of Michigan and it's also linked to mmfurnituredesigns.co.uk. Now, the guest post, it would only link through to your website. A niche edit, in some cases, it can link to 2 or 3 different websites. Niche edits, you can't pick the content either, right? So if we take a look at this article, how Google's algorithm works, and it links through to SEMrush at the top, and then it also links through to HostPapa, which is a hosting website. SEMrush is like an SEO tool. And this article is talking about backlinks, right? So backlinks, it's not super relevant to hosting. However, this is a super powerful link. So you would want that link pointing through to your website. So that's the three types of links that we essentially have. We have essentially PR slash linkbait articles. We've got guest posts. We've got niche edits. And the next type of link that I want to talk about is tiered link building. And not many people do tiered link building, but we'll talk about it. So tiered link building essentially helps with indexing your website and also indexing any of your guest posts. So if you have any links that you have purchased, let's say you've purchased a guest post or a niche edit, it's linking through to your website, but it isn't actually indexed, you want to probably do some tiered link building. Now, the way that you can essentially check to see if a link is actually indexed, if you do site colon, if it shows here, it's indexed. If it doesn't, it's not. So let's say, for example, you do Kazra, right? Kazra isn't an actual article on there, but if it was, what you would want to do is just as a pre-check, if you have been purchasing links or essentially acquiring links as well, just make certain that they are actually indexed in Google, because if they're not, we're going to need to do some tiered link building to get them indexed. So that's another benefit of tiered link building. Many niches don't do it. So it's a really big missed opportunity. You can power up relevant links. You can make a link more relevant using tier 2s. And from, unless you guys are in, like, for example, a super difficult niche. So if any of you guys are watching this and you are in crypto, CBD, gambling, or porn, I wouldn't do more than like 3 or 4 tier 2s to each of your links. If you guys are in those difficult industries, I would do a lot more tier 2 links. So now that we have gone through tier 2s, so this is an example of a tiered link building example. So you've got your guest posts up here, which link to your money site. You might also have your niche edits as well here. And then you've got your tier 2s down here. And again, it's just passing power. It can also pass a little bit more relevance as well. And again, everything essentially just funnels back to your money site. So the more tier 2s you have down here, or the more guest posts you have powered up with tier 2s, you're essentially getting more page rank and you're getting more link juice through to your money site. So from an SEO and from a link building point of view, it's super important that you should do that. This is what I was saying before, right? So CBD, gambling, porn, finance, locksmiths, law, dating, pharma, all of these guys do a lot of tiered link building. Some cases they might even do tier 3, tier 4 links. So they might actually have links powering up their tier 2 links. And in a lot of cases, that is a little bit of overkill, but it does definitely work if you guys do want to test it out. So there's sites that are crushing it. So best gambling sites, gambling.com. They do a lot of tiered link building. Best hosting, quicksprout.com. They do a lot of tiered link building. So we'll take a look at these websites actually. So best casino sites, gambling.com. So this is the page here that I was actually looking at. So if we take a look here, so if we take a look at backlinks and so there's a few filters I want to actually show you guys when you're doing any tiered link building. What you want to do is do follow, backlink type in content, and let's do a DR range of, let's say 20, and you can do like, let's say 60, or actually we'll keep it to anything above 20. Then backlink type in content, right, show results. So we're going to go from 5,900 down to 2,123. Then what you want to do is, obviously this website or this page wants to rank for, actually what I need to do is do exact URL. So actually, let me just show you guys this process again, because we were looking at the wrong URL, right? So we've got 480 links pointing through to this exact URL, right? So then let's do follow, backlink type in content, and anything above 20, right? So we've gone from 480 backlinks to 261, right? So for example, They've already started doing a lot of tiered link building. As you can see, they've got, if you sort by referring domains here, you can see that they've got like traveldudes.com. They've got 14 links pointing through to this page. Now, if we sort by lowest to highest, lowest to highest, as you can see, they've got Harrogate News, which is a DR50 free, and they have got the anchor text casino providers available offering UK citizens, right? This is like a pretty decent guest post that they have, but they don't actually have any link power going through to this. So this is one link, and again, this is Ahrefs is picking this up as a best link in their backlink profile. So this page here, I would be looking to do some tiered links through to. And again, tiered links, if we take a look at searchroo.com, they're so cheap. Like you would, it's silly not to do any tiered links. So they're $30 a link. Again, if you guys are doing link building already, and say for example this link here might have been like $200, it would be silly not to do 2 or 3 links through to this page. Simplify Gardening. Hello. Thanks for joining. We're talking about link building, going into the deep realms at the minute. So then you've got like Oxford News, again, super powerful website this, and they don't have any tiered links. Missed opportunity. And again, the anchor text is talking about casino, the H1's talking about casino. Again, it's just silly not to do any tiered links. So again, we're just funneling all the link power back up to our money site. So that has been it from a link building point of view. Unless there is anything that you guys in the chat want me to cover, I've spoke about all the different types of links that you can be doing, foundational links, guest posts, niche edits, and also PR links as well, and tiered links as well. So there's been a lot of link building talk. I know that this isn't for everybody, but we've covered it because a lot of people wanted to know how to essentially figure out what type of links that they need, how to essentially identify which links push the needle and which links don't, which links are noisy links as well, because there's a lot of noisy links as well out there. But yes, that has been our link building mastery guide from zero to hero. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section. And if you want advice when it comes to link building or even just a general SEO strategy, make sure to check out kazradash.com and you can book me out for a free 15-minute strategy call. Thanks.